guys, you're early. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So happy to have you guys here. Oh, you just cut your yard, Scotty? I was out there working in my yard and I was thinking, yeah, this is harder than it was last year. So hello everybody. If everyone's catching the replay, anybody new, I'm Teresa. I'm your host to Wounds to Wisdom. We talk about all sorts of fun stuff. These are some of our regulars in the chat. So Scotty, have a little something to drink. I'm drinking a little something myself. Non-alcoholic, but that's all right. Just as bad for me. But I figured I deserved it after some manual labor. Plus I'm doing laundry, so I deserve extra bonus points. Richard, how you doing, my friend? How's Papa? We love the Papas. What I wouldn't give. I can't believe in just a couple of weeks. It will be a year since my dad died. And you know what's shocking to me about that? Sorry, I just opened a can of soda. It feels like it just happened last week. So this is just something else. Oh, he's catching in. He's coming back. Oh, did you miss this? Did you miss me talking to you, Scotty? I know, Richard, you're always multitasking. Sometimes I see you in 2 and 3 chats. I'm like, I wonder how he's doing that. Of course, that's usually later in the evening, but I can't do it. I try. I really try. But I get so pooped. And, the doctor said to me, when you're tired, don't try to stay up. Just surrender. So what the hell? Love my friends, can catch them on the replay or not, depending on my energy level. But I can't believe that it's the 28th of April. So this whole month, like March and April, just flew by for me. And I have a feeling that May and June are going to be the same. I don't know if I've talked about it or not. Thank you. So, Scotty, I'm going gray. Richard, I think, according to my hairdresser, by September, I should be fully silvery gray. So, it's going fast. Never surrender. But, so my brother's housemate has an illness, and so he's going to be doing a stem cell transplant. And my brother works 2 hours from his house, so he spends several days in Manhattan, and so there's nobody to watch the dogs. And he has 3 golden retrievers. I love them, so this isn't a problem for me, but I am going to be taking my 2 chuckleheads, Luca and Biscotti, with me. They're very exhausted. They had a very hard day playing outside. I'm taking them with me, and I'm going to dog sit while my brother's working in the city. And then when he comes back from the city, we still haven't worked it out, but I'll probably stay for a day and then come back to my house to hang out with my kitty cat because I can't take her with me. So there'll be some back and forth there for about a month. So we'll see. Scotty boy, I roasted, oystered, gray, and went straight to white. Oh, wow. That must have been very handsome because I've been gray for a long time, and I colored and colored and colored. Obviously, you guys have seen me on the channel. And so I've known for a long time that I was going to be, it would be go faster. But I didn't think it would be as angelic as it's turning out to be. So it sometimes washes my face out a little bit, but we'll just judge the face then. Boy coat. Gotcha. Boy coat, you are funny. Yes, I'm drinking an egg cream. And for anyone who doesn't know what that is, well, if you're at a Jewish deli, they do it the right way. If you do it my way, I use cream soda and milk, and it's like a little dessert. But there's a vanilla syrup that you can use and some seltzer, and but that's I'm not at a Jewish deli, so used to be very popular in New York. I don't know if it still is. I know there's a Jewish deli in Boston that I would go to called Zoftig's, and very appropriate little plump lady. And so I would go there, and whatever meal I had, I got myself an egg cream. Let's see. Mish is here, holding up the bushes. Oh, Odd, I'm having a little kosher tequila and lime. It's one of my favorite drinks. I don't. If I was gonna really splurge, that'd be right up there for me. But I do it so rarely. Um, anyway, so um, today's topic. What time is it? 5:06. Okay. Um, camouflage, Misha. So today, we've been talking a lot, just about our nervous system and how we deal with things. And so, one of the things that I was talking with the village about, um, did you all hear it? Did you all hear it? Did you all hear it? 2:06 Scotty time. Mish, what am I missing, babe? I didn't hear it. So Mish, what are you talking about? Oh, the theme song from Mission Impossible as we read Camo Mishabaha. Oh no. God, am I slow to pick up. See? I'm distracted by the topic of the day. But we talk about our nervous system and we talk, are we listening? Are we really listening to our bodies? Are we really listening to ourselves? And so I was talking about on the village that, sometimes I just don't. And our nervous system is always communicating, right? It's always telling us something. Whether we're listening is a different story. And I think sometimes we shut down, sometimes we are reactive. Um, and so I wanted to talk about it because we all have a nervous system that gets twisted in knots, that gets overwhelmed. And that could be from a family situation that some people are experiencing. It could be, oh, good, Scotty. I'm glad I'm not the only one that didn't pick up on it. I'm slow to the punch. You have an excuse. You have some tequila. I have egg cream. Doesn't count. And that some of us deal with it really well. Some of us are predisposed to that calm demeanor. But our nervous system tells us so many things. It's like, how is it described to me? Like a translator, right? From English to Spanish, Spanish to English, English to Italian, Italian to English. It's a translator. It tells you when you're safe. It tells you when you're overwhelmed, or when you're shutting down and you have too many emotions, or when you're in fear, when you need connection. Oh, that's what I meant to find. I found this really great, I don't know if it's called a meme, but I found it on Instagram. It came across my page. I've got to remember to post it because it talked about the fact that we need connection. Oh, I did post it on my channel. It was about addiction and how most addicts, regardless of the type of addict, what they crave most is connection. And when they're alone, they revert or resort to things, and their mind just can't seem to sift it out. So when people go into a program, and I guess they did it in Portugal. Um, they legalized every drug. And what they did with programs was when people came out of treatments, they had housing for them, they had healthcare for them, they had community for them, so that the people that were making changes in their lives weren't alone, because that's what leads people back into addiction, because they feel alone. They feel like they're climbing this mountain. So anyway, Scotty Boy says, my nervous system has yet to catch up with me. It's speeding along, Scotty. You got to slow down and let it catch up. And it, often our nervous system, Scotty, doesn't speak English because it shows us in our tight shoulders that are all the way hunched up here, and on our shallow breasts that we don't really breathe fully and deeply. This may not apply to some people, but a little irritating. Sometimes people get numb, you know. Sometimes we either overthink or we're wicked tired, and we withdraw. So, we sometimes misinterpret. And if you guys are watching my eyes, I'm just trying to read the comments while I'm trying to focus on you guys. But we misinterpret these signals as, well, Teresa's just in a mood, or it's her personality, or that's just how I am. And I've been doing a lot in the last, I'd say, 10 days, focusing in on what does that really mean? I was a drama queen, but why was I a drama queen? Because I needed people to see me, and I didn't know how to get anyone's attention other than being over the top. Right? I think we talked about this, if today's Tuesday, last week sometime. It's like, pick me, put me on your team. I need to be seen. I need to be heard. I need to be acknowledged. I need to be recognized. And instead of me saying, I pick me, I recognize me, I see me, and use that mirror. But I would almost say, we could totally. Oh, I know. Did I say that? I don't always realize when I use these Massachusetts phrases, Richard. That is wicked funny. I get overwhelmed with emotions. Yeah. Scotty and Mish says, addiction is a symptom of a much larger trauma. Amen, sister. And without the proper tools, sugar, exercise, retail therapy, sex, how do you spell that one? All of these tools, our bodies feel best. And it sort of counters the trauma by using the addiction. I totally feel I'm letting down the world. Oh, well, you're not letting us down. You're not letting me down. You're here. That means so much to me. Me too, Scotty. I'm impressed you are willing to admit it. Men around these parts rarely do such things. If you haven't given up, you haven't let us down. Absolutely not. You bring so much joy wherever you go, at least in our channels. So don't leave. Don't abandon us. But it's true that sometimes you do feel like you're letting people down. I get that. And I think there are three main nervous system states, right? Safe and connected, fight or flight, freeze and shut down. These are the three main ones. The safe and connected, we feel grounded, we're open, we're creative, we're receptive, we're social. I'm not that particular state very often in my nervous system. Fight or flight, you feel anxious, rushed, irritated, overwhelmed, hyper-focused, right? So that's me, especially it was with family, but now it's sort of within my neighborhood. And freeze and shut down because you feel numb and you feel disconnected, right? And you're exhausted and you feel hopeless. And I think that we could probably equate them to like our weather pattern. And if anybody's having weather patterns like my town is, you totally will get it. Right. So, what does it feel like? How does our nervous system communicate? Well, I mentioned it before a little bit: tight chest, shoulders tight, butterflies, heaviness. We're snapping at people or withdrawing or we're overworking. Um, our thoughts. So I do this less now, but like catastrophizing. Oh my God, the whole world's going to implode. Oh my God, this is going to happen. And it's very over the top, right? The energy, either we feel wired or tired or foggy. I was going to say toggy. So it's a combination of foggy and tired. But I often feel really tired. Um, and then it's our impulses. We eat more. Some people eat less. We scroll constantly. I've been really working hard on putting that thing down, but I isolate. And a way to compensate is to try to fix everything. And that's something I've been working really hard on not trying to do. All right, let me go back to the comments. Yeah, Mish, abandonment is one of your biggest fears. And I think for a long time that was for me. But everybody's gone. So they're gone now. My dad is gone. I don't really have the connections with certain people that I wanted to have. They haven't abandoned me per se. It's just been redefined. And location has a lot to do with it. And people's expectations and people's own lives are so up in the air. Richard, was it you and who was I talking to? I just was talking to somebody about being the elder. And we laughed. We're kind of like, oh my God, if people are looking to me as the elder in the community, oh, are they up Schitt's Creek? So it's, it's hard when we are physically distant from each other. There is something to be said for that interaction. This is great. Using YouTube for me is wonderful. I'd rather see all your faces and have conversations with you. But I'd rather be able to give you all a big hug. That's not the reality of this environment. It's still better than what I had before, which was isolation. Right? I won't abandon you, Mish, unless I've gone on to the other side, and then I'll come back as a butterfly and I will, flutter myself at you. But I'm not going anyplace, at least today. Easy to do with the amount of FFs we've been dealing with. Grr, yeah. Gummy says, Scotty says, I eat gummies when I feel down. If I were to eat gummies, I'd be the size of a small cottage, and I'm on my way there now. So, yeah, you do? Thank you, Scotty. That makes me feel good because that's part of what I wanted to do is to build a community of like people that we're not exactly the same, but something I may say will trigger. Fortunately, Richard says, fortunately, I seldom need to deal with that. Even around here, usually there's a mom or two still around. Yeah. Teresa, will you try a couple of things for me, please? Sure. For starters, a crystal hug. Okay, I don't know what that is, but I can give you a hug. Dum, da-dum, dum, dum. Um, and was there something else? So, the nervous system, what's it really asking of us? Well, most of us crave safety. We crave predictability. And in this fakakta world, there is no predictability. We crave connection. As much as some of us, and I'm really referring to me, I've been known to say, I don't need anybody. I can just do it on my own. I really crave that connection. I miss it. I'm a freaking Italian who grew up with people up my ass all the time. And now that nobody's around, it's like, well, wait a minute. Where's everybody, going? So what are you doing? You know what I mean? They'd be like, so what's up? Um, I think our nervous system wants rest, but true rest, not even a cat nap is great, but it really wants everything just to relax. I think. I know in my case, and they do say this, that the nervous system craves movement, exercise. Um, but another thing that it craves is boundaries. I'm not looking at you, Mish, I swear. But we stretch the boundaries of what we're willing to sacrifice of ourselves. And it does fill a need. When we stretch our boundaries, we're doing it more for ourselves than for the other person. That's what I've come to learn, because we want the acknowledgement. Look, see what I did? I helped you. I stepped out of my comfort zone. I did this for you. I'm always here for you. It's almost like we want to take on that burden because part of us wants to be seen. We want to be acknowledged. We want to be connected, right? Our nervous system wants reassurance that everything's going to be okay. So, all right, let me just jump to the chat. May or may not stick pins in your wings. Oh, put your left hand, okay, right, left, my left hand on my right shoulder, and do the same. Close your eyes and just squeeze. Oh, you'll be there. Okay, everybody do this. Okay, thank you. You're a true Italian. Hell, you sent me cookies. I know. I have no doubt I would be fed. Oh, you'd be fed all the time. Because that's the joy. That's one of the things I miss. I enjoyed cooking for people. And you lose your knack. And I sometimes was pushed out of my comfort zone. So I've been cooking for myself, especially since I'm supposed to be eating more healthy. And so I'm trying to make things have more flavor, less pasta, which has been, kind of hard. I thought it would be easier, but pasta fills you and it's comforting and it brings in that wave of memory. That's what food does. It's memory. It's love. So I've cut down on the pasta pretty dramatically. I've cut down on the breads very sadly. But so now when I'm cooking steak or pork chops or more chicken out the wazoo, I love to eat lamb steaks, which if they're on sale, I'll get a whole bunch and just freeze them. And then I start experimenting with new flavors. And you gotta love Instagram or even the reels on Facebook. They come up with these recipes. There's a non-sugar cake that I'm going to try with just bananas, eggs, and cocoa powder. So I'll let you know how that goes. You made pasta tonight, Penne. What did you make with it? So if I do, Scotty, my pasta is less pasta and lots more veggie. So I put tons of mushrooms, onions, broccoli in my penne. So that way I don't feel as guilty. And I'm using, what's the penne? it's not a wheat penne. It's like, is it a lentil penne? There's one that's, it's okay. I mean, I want the fat penne. I want the one with no nutrition, but, with a lot of red sauce. Yeah, see, I do like red sauce, don't get me wrong. I made a whole bunch of it last year with my own tomatoes. But red sauce sometimes hurts my tummy, so I have to do it on occasion. But I love a cream sauce or a butter sauce. But if I use my own homemade butter, I feel less guilty because I know what's in it. There's not a lot of crap in my butter. So, and the other thing that I want to say, as healthy as we want to be, we have to enjoy what we eat. We have to enjoy what we do. We have to enjoy the company we keep. If you have to go to somebody's house, notice what I said. If you have to go to somebody's house, your nervous system's already anxious. Your nervous system is already saying, okay, if I stay 15 minutes or a half hour or an hour, I can get the hell out of there. That is so not what we need to do. Now, I'm not about to tell people, don't go to your families, don't do this, don't do that. One of the things that I've learned is to say no. And you can do it respectfully. And I've been using Chat GPT for ideas to say to somebody that I don't want to go out with for dinner or, to whatever event they're hosting. First of all, most of my real friends know I'm not traveling 2 hours for an hour of something and then driving 2 hours back. I'm not going to do it. It's too much stress because I hate driving. And it's on the highway. So now, going to my brother's house at the end of May through June, I wish I could shoot some gummies because the anxiety of driving that way. But I go the extra long way, even though it's on the highway, it's in the opposite direction of traffic. So, and I'll go on off traffic times. But when I have to go into Boston, and I don't want to say have to because I love my Boston friends. I miss them so much. I wish I could share with you how much those women mean to me. We would get together once a week and go to either a Greek restaurant or a Jewish restaurant. Those were our two regular favorites. And just those gals still do that. If not every week, every 2 weeks. It's too far for me to go. Plus, my budget can't afford it. I can do it on occasion, and next month I'll do it because I want to see them and I miss them. It's a friend's birthday, and then once I start commuting back and forth with my brother, it's just going to be too much. So, anyway, connection. We love that. Yes, exactly, Richard. It's 81 miles one way. That's 90 minutes non-baseball game night. When you're driving into Boston on the night of a baseball game, park your car and walk. So that's the other thing is I literally will look at my calendar and check when the Boston Red Sox are playing. Because if it's a home game, I may love my friends, but there's no bloody way I'm driving in. It's insane. And that's commuting time. Are you kidding? So no. Yeah, there are things, but it's the baseball game traffic that's awful. I think if you're going to Gillette Stadium, there's a different way that you could go. You don't have to go the Mass Pike, but anyway, we don't need to get everybody involved on the Boston Pike, but it's the driving and it's the white knuckle, driving for me. And I'm not a horrible driver. I just don't like to drive. I also have only been driving about 20 years. So, how old am I? So, on a regular basis, I've only been driving 20 years, 23 years. Prior to that, I only rented a car on occasion to go visit my parents because I lived in Boston. I walked everywhere. I took the subway or I took the bus, um, or I walked. I was a skinny little mini because I walked. But whatever. Okay, let's see. Comments. Yeah, they have lentil based pasta. I love butter sauce. Oh, it is my favorite. And I love some pasta. Mish says, my sauteed spaghetti is da bomb. So here's a little hint. Okay, let's digress for a second. You just grab some cherry tomatoes. You don't even have to poke holes in them. Put them on a tray. You guys probably already know this. Throw some onions, garlic, although sometimes garlic is a little powerful. So maybe cook it in the cloves, and that way you can decide how much you want to squish. Put it in the oven, bake it. Usually I do 375, but probably 350 until it starts to break down. I think I set the timer for like 25 minutes, 20, 25 minutes. It can vary depending on the heat of the oven. And then as you're doing that, I love angel hair pasta. So I take my angel hair, I cook it, have the butter. As soon as all those roasted veggies are all warm and mushy, and you put it in with your spaghetti and a little bit of, well, my definition of a little bit of olive oil is a little bit heavier than some. And then I actually grate my Parmigiana. Oh, I swear to God, it's close to heaven. That reminds me, I should probably write down on my grocery shopping list cherry tomatoes because I'm out. And you can, those will have flavor in the winter when you roast them. You can't just eat a cherry tomato and put it in your salad. I dropped something. Because they're just not, there's no flavor. But if you roast them in the oven and you sprinkle some salt and pepper, you could use Italian seasoning. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It's very mood based, but there's always butter involved, and there's always olive oil. And I've used avocado oil, but if I'm making an Italian dish, I'm usually using extra virgin olive oil. Okay, let's see. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with saying no. Absolutely. I was a vegetarian for 10 years. Wow. I've never been to the East Coast of Corpus Christi. Oh, well, you're missing a lot then. Pardon. Vine ripe tomatoes also have a nice flavor. Oh, they do. Absolutely. And give it, so I'll probably plant tomatoes in the next 2 weeks, Richard. It's been warm enough. I know I'm in a sweatshirt, but in the house it's a little chilly. What is it outside right now? Hold please while I check our weather. 63 degrees. They say it feels like 57. Whatever. Tomato. So I'll start planting next week. And I have some hay that I'll cover it with just to keep them warm. I did plant garlic. Excuse you. Someone made a little burpee. Somebody ate all my garlic that I planted in the fall. I don't know which little critter did that. I didn't think they liked garlic. Apparently, it's very appetizing. So I'm going to have to plant garlic again, but I was hoping it would be ready for June and not for September. Whatever. So I'm going to start planting. I have my pots ready for my eggplant. I had such great luck with my eggplant. I'm going to play. He's snoring like a trucker. Can I just tell you, Biscotti is snoring like a trucker. And I'm going to try broccoli. I was not successful last year with broccoli, so I'm going to try it again. but I'm going to do it in grow bags instead, so they have their own space. And then I'll plant some. I have to find what's a companion vegetable and or spice herb that I can grow with it. So it gets the nutrients that it needs and the bugs, keep the bugs away. But I'm really, he's a little farty. He's like, but you'd know it was bad, Scotty, if I was going, be you. But he's making these noises. He's snoring. My little boy, he's snoring. I'm just going to tilt the camera, everybody. Can you see him over here? You can't hear him. Up, up, up. Oh, yes, I had the nerve. Oh, I love this chucklehead. The other one's on the ottoman. They always take turns. Who's going to sit next to me on YouTube night? And this time, Scotty won. I know. I love these little guys. And talk about your nervous system, right? These two, sometimes they're under my feet a little bit too much. Like, mama has stuff to do, but I wouldn't change one thing about these dogs, not except for their eating habits. But other than that, they're such good, angelic light for me throughout my day. I was telling the village last night, I think it was the village last night, I had Luca on my right. He was all cuddled right next to me. I was on my back. And then Farty Boy over here put his tushy right on this side. His head came down my arm and onto my belly. And I was like, this is really heaven. It's heaven. Talk about calming the nervous system. And I laughed. And I had spoken last week about joy, right? I'm like, how do you find joy? Get the fartsters. Get the little chuckleheads that, they don't give a hoot who you are, what you've done, where you're going. They love. They love to be paid attention to. And so I'm just going to throw this out to you guys. Do you tend to fight, flee, freeze when you're stressed? And where does it show up in your body first? Most of the time, it shows up what I would consider my solar plexus and in my throat. Now, it show up in my throat if I feel like I can't find my voice, like I can't say something, or I'm afraid, or I'm emotional. Most of the time, though, it's right in the solar plexus. It's like in that upper belly area. And I'm like, I feel it. And then, I can feel it in the muscles. I can feel it in the shoulders. The good news about the breathing techniques is that I know to bring the breath in, bring the shoulders up, pull everything up, make scrunchy faces, and then just let everything relax. And the body will physically start to relax. The internal stress, I have to really just relax and focus the breath to that area. And that could take me a good 20 minutes before I calm down. And I'm wondering, we've talked a little bit about what has your emotion been trying to get your attention for? What's it trying to say? Yeah, Richard, yours in your throat and your chest. I wonder if that's because we're heart issued people. I don't know. Because that's where my heart attack was. It started in my throat. But interesting. Yeah. And plus I think, if we're sensitive people, and I've been sensitive my whole life and made fun of for being sensitive, that when I feel that, I almost want to build the moat around me. You can almost see the bricks going up. And I work really hard not to do that and say, look, I get to feel what I feel. That's it. I feel what I feel. And when we were talking on the village last night, I think, Richard, before you got there, we were sort of talking about the bullies that sometimes men can be and some of the things that they say to women. And I always had a response after the fact. Like when I walked away, I want to be the girl who can take a deep breath and then respond back, but not necessarily in anger, but still respond back without wanting to get emotional and cry, because I don't want to do that. And that it doesn't warrant that. So that's the fight or flight. And that's where it goes to my throat. And that throat constricts. And I think, the boundary of my nervous system that I have set is the no. And I physically use my hand as a stop, like a stop sign. No. Now, mostly that's for me. But I have been known to someone who is in my face sometimes. I'm just like, I literally put my hand up. I'm like, I'm not having this conversation. You're so sensitive. Why are you so sensitive? I'm not having the conversation. And then I walk away. I'm like, I'm going. Because, first of all, the venom. I may look all sweet and angelic. I have a viper's tongue. When it comes out and you push me beyond that poor pitiful me, frozen deer in a headlight, and the venom comes, the crucifixion ain't anything when I'm done with you. Now, I will hate myself for it. If I don't want to say if you've pushed me, because it's really my boundary, right? But if I've been pushed to that point, it's almost like a blind fury. I don't want to get to that point. So I want to be able to use my breath. I want to use all the tips and tricks and techniques I've learned over the last 10 years. Oh God, Mom's been gone 10 years. Shit. So yeah, over the last 10 years. And just take a step back and respond in kind, not to be mean, but to get my point across. That's why I always talk about when you're in the store and someone's being a cranky pants, we can respond in multiple ways. And I choose to say, well, I hope you have a good day. And I do mean it, because that disarms some. They're like, well, what they can't, what are they going to do? Fuck you. When are they going to come back and be a dickhead? I hope you have a great day. Wow, does that shock people, especially if they're the cranky pants. And it's not the person at the register's fault. And, if anybody shops at Walmart, you get them all. You get everybody from left, right, and center. And I'm sure that's a lot of stores. That just happens to be one of the ones that I shop at. My local grocery store, I sometimes also run into people that are a little snarky or impatient. And I'm learning to not turn the other cheek per se, because I ain't no Jesus. But I do believe that if I can say, I know, I can't imagine you must be in such a hurry, I'm moving as quickly as I'm able to move. That's it. That's usually at the self-checkout. I don't then say anything else. And if you can huff and puff and gruff and then when I'm ready to leave, I'll turn around. I'm like, I hope you have a really great day. And I don't even, after that, I just keep going. There are other times when there's someone near me in the area, and I'm just like, all right, Jesus, you better take the wheel. You better take the wheel. And my, the nervous system is like, it goes one way or the other. I'm going to want to cry because this person touched a nerve that is representative of what I endured my whole life. Or he says something else and I'm just like, I am going to, and then in my mind, I won't share with you, but some not so nice stuff come out of my mouth. So I am curious. I don't know. Did we lose Mish? We may have lost Mish. Did I lose Scotty? Um, you're 64 degrees where you are, Scotty? No way. Holy cow. I don't know if my comments stopped. I'm hearing my laundry buzzer go off. Yippee. I have 2 more loads to do and then I'm done. So, how do you stop absorbing other people's stress? And I think setting that boundary in your mind, it's not my stuff. It's not mine. You can be a sounding board and still not let it be yours. Asking the person that you're having a conversation with, do you just need a sounding board or do you want my opinion or advice? I've learned to say that because I love giving advice. It's always easier to tell somebody else how to fix the problem because you're the outsider. You can see it as plain as day, right? I wish I could turn the mirror and have the same response for myself. So I've learned to just step back and pose the question because some people just need to vent. And I'm okay with that. And I don't have to take that on. That's the boundary I'm learning. I used to take it on and, oh my God, what am I going to do? And how can I help them? And, I blah, blah, blah. I can't send them money or I could send them money or whatever the situation is. So I'm curious for you guys. How do you stop absorbing other people's stress? Dum, 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 dum. I know we've got 10 minutes. Usually Tweedledee and Tweedledum are sitting and looking at me ready to go for their WALK, but they're still snoring. I separate myself physically. Interesting. That helps. So that means that you're more often than not physically near what the situation is. A lot of mine, it's always almost long distance. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy to say it's not mine. And you're a parent. So I can't relate to being a parent. Clearly, I have puppies, What I've witnessed and what I admire is parents, they also have the answers, right? They can see things, but their kids they don't want to hear from you. They know everything. And I know this as a daughter. I knew everything. What the hell is my father trying to tell me something for? He didn't know it. He was in a whole different generation. But all of a sudden, I had all the right answers for what he should be doing with his life. So it is a funny thing. And I think stepping away physically is something that is easier to do. But yes, Richard, I think sometimes you have to just head into the stress and think of effective ways of dealing with the situation. And I think using your breath work and pausing, that's the other thing that I've learned from Don Miguel Ruiz and the 4 agreements, is just to step back before I respond, before I say something. And breathe. And before I respond, it's mostly, okay, how do I help? Or how do I offer insight? Or how do I help this person find the answer themselves? It's funny. Where was it? I was watching oh, I was watching, Monica Lewinsky has a podcast, a really great one called Reclamation. I really enjoy it. And she was interviewing, a psychic medium empath. And she had said to this woman, and I didn't get the answer, but I know what the answer is from all of my teachers teaching me. So she said, if I met you prior to interning at the White House, would you have told me that it was a minefield or that I shouldn't go? Every healer, every practitioner, every spiritual educator would have said, no, it's your path, it's your journey, it's your decision. They may say, look at all your options, think about what you really want from the position, or do you really want to date that person? In my case, if people had said to me, Teresa, well, they did, don't go out with this person. Sometimes telling someone not to go in a direction, they're going to go to that direction. What do they know? I know more than that person. So, as a healer, as an intuit, and that's not me. I'm not really intuitive in that way. And I'm definitely not psychic in the way that I could say, oh, Richard, I see this is happening. I'm not that kind of gal. But if I was, and as a Reiki practitioner, one of the things they teach you is if you feel energy blocks in someone's body, you don't tell them, oh, I'm feeling this block in your colon. All I would say, if I really felt strongly, is I would ask them how they felt. And then I would say, well, don't forget, do your regular checkups with your doctor if you're not feeling up to par, I would encourage someone to see their doctor, but I would never say, oh, I felt that you really should. First of all, we all have to walk our path. We all have to stumble. We all have to learn. We all have to imbue that experience, because that's what leads us to our wisdom. That's what leads us to our knowledge. Would I have loved to have learned this shit years ago? Hallelujah, yes. Would I have liked to have learned some of this before? See, I'm hesitating because, yeah, it would have been great, but would it have changed anything? I still needed to cut ties with certain people. Those people still needed to move on from me. My parents still both had to die. I mean, I couldn't have changed that. I didn't leave anything unsaid with my parents, so I don't feel like, oh, I wish my father was still here. I would have told him. My dad knew how much I loved him. There was never any question how much I loved that man. He also knew I thought he was the biggest pain in the ass. Still loved him. He thought I was the biggest pain in the ass, that I was being stubborn. Yes, I was. I was being independent. I was doing things my way, not his way. I have no regrets. I don't know if a lot of people can say that, and it's not about me even putting that on people. So my point is, if I were to go back in time, would I undo any of the hard lessons that I learned? As much as some of them were so not nice. No, I don't think I would, because I needed to learn. I needed to learn to let stuff go as well. We're not meant to carry crap with us. So our nervous system tells us, dial it back, Nellie. Take a breath. What is it really that's got you tangled in knots? And I don't know even how to advise anyone. I would just say sit with it. And I use paper all the time. You can use your phone, your notes. You can talk to somebody that you can bounce ideas off of. But even bouncing ideas off of other people doesn't always get me where I need to go. Sometimes I'll say, all right, I'll make something up. I have to go to a friend's. What are the pros and cons? Well, do I really like the friend? Do I really like the people that are going to be there? Is it worth me going wherever I have to go? Am I going to fuss and stress? Okay, here's this. Now, what are the benefits? I'm going to love seeing everybody. I'm going to love da 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 da, da, or I'm going to hate. Whatever that answer is, that helps me figure out the next decision. Now, I'm pretty fortunate that I don't have a lot of these anymore. And I'm pretty good at, for the most part, saying no. I'm still learning. And I don't just come right out and say no. Like, what are you thinking? I'm not going to go out with you. It's thank you so much. That doesn't work for me today, but have a great time. I can still say it nicely. If it's the holidays, one of my brothers, he knows I'm not going to drive on holidays. It has nothing to do with anything other than I'm not going to freaking drive. I'm too anxious and I'm not usually spending the night. So I have to drive 2.5, 3 hours to a destination. Now, this is my issue, but if I say we're eating dinner at 2, I expect we're eating dinner at 2 and not at 4 because then I got to drive. So that means we're not eating till 4. Dessert's not going to be till 6 or 7. So the anxiety is too much for me. Now, if I'm going to spend the night, it doesn't matter. Whatever. Throw caution to the wind. But it's you. I have to learn those boundaries. And sometimes I do have to step away. Sometimes some family stuff is just too much for me, and I just have to say no. I'm only so strong. So sometimes my nervous system is like, I got to hit that back door and I got to go. I'd rather not do it as a reaction of flight. I want to do it with conscious thought. So that's what I would encourage people. Take a breath, sit down, write the pros and cons of whatever the situation is, and try to settle it that way. If you can't, then as Richard said, sometimes you just have to walk into the stress. And then remember that through that time period, you just have to breathe. So anyway, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for watching the replay. Please give thumbs up. It helps. And I really appreciate you being here. I appreciate the conversation, Richard, Scotty, Mish. I don't think I've missed anybody. It was a quiet one today. That's okay. I don't know if somebody else is going live. But until Thursday, I send you all with so much love, so much light, so much healing, so much compassion, sprinkled with lots of laughter, joy, and giggles. So until I see you, the pups and I send you with so much love. Take care, guys. Mwah!